Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, it is afternoon for me, anyways. Welcome to the channel. We do have Cyril on here today, and basically we're beginning talking about kind of an index fund that he's doing. I'll let him talk mostly about it. But for now, if you could, if you don't know him already, he's a great guy, so hit the like button anyways. Those of you who do know him, because he's been around in the space for a long, long time, and I'll let him tell his story, hit the like button to help support him in that way. And yeah, that's about it. Welcome to the channel. Maybe if you can tell us a little bit about you, because I don't think you've been on here yet, eh?
I think it's been a while.
Long time. Oh, we might have done only burns or something, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it might have been a while. So let us know who you are for those who may not know already, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. First, I'd like to apologize for my ghostly visage at the moment. It's very, very bright outside, and unfortunately, I can't stop up the window over there. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, but I'm Cyril, and I have been in the space for about 5 years now, in the DeFi space specifically. I've been trading crypto blue chips for, about 9 years now. Been managing businesses since I was 18. I'm 35 now. And, when I first came into the DeFi space, it was very, very different than what I was used to coming from traditional finance. And that ultimately wound up leading to the creation of KKF. And I'm sure we'll dive more into that and why through the course of this.
Perfect. And then just so you guys know, I guess in advance, this is not I do some videos or AMAs where they are paid. This one, I actually reached out to Cyril because I heard what he was doing, and I have a lot of respect for the guy and appreciate what he's doing in the space and how he's tried to be a pillar in the space. So there is no paid advertising to this. He was not going to do any advertising, am I correct?
Yeah, no, because I had made this just for the people of my trading group, and then I guess they started telling other people about it, and I just kind of snowballed from there.
There you go. So congrats for being known in the space enough for that kind of thing to happen. That's awesome. And hi, Ben. Thanks for joining us. I don't recognize you, so welcome. If you are, I'm assuming you might be a serial person. You don't know him? Okay, there we go. So welcome. I guess, yeah. So the big thing here is, and obviously you've done only burns, I guess, project wise or DeFi wise. Is there any specifics you want to get into as to what you have done in the space? Only burns, how's that going? I guess maybe because I know I did do a video on that a long time ago. Or do you want to get into that at all? I guess I should have asked that beforehand, but
I think you and we did a video about Parrotly, actually, is what I think we did the video about. Yeah, Parrotly's doing decent. We had to cut some staff during the bear market. There wasn't when your treasury's in Matic and Matic's going down, that's a little bit of a problem. So, but we are moving forward. We're making progress on Memory Bank, which is the product that we're creating, and that actually markets towards Web 2 people, not Web 3. Gotcha. So trying to get it ahead of the curve with that.
Yeah. Awesome. And yeah, so other than that, I guess if you want to go into what you're doing right now, because as I put on the thing, and I think it was similar to what I saw, and you can maybe explain it more, is what are you doing right now? Sorry, English is hard sometimes.
Yeah. So currently, like I said, I just started KKF, which is the Keir Krew fund. That one, what was it? The 6th, I think. So it's been around for a little over a week now, coming up on 2 weeks. Nice. And Keir Krew fund is essentially an index fund, very similar to the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ in the way that it operates, right? It is it tracks a basket of 10 different assets. So there's Bitcoin in there. There's Ethereum, there's Matic, there's gold, which acts as an anchor to help with some price volatility. Oh, there we go.
I know who it is now.
There you go. But because coming from traditional finance, right, there's options for people who maybe don't have 50 hours a day to sit and look at the charts and figure out what's going to go up, what's going to go down, research all these different companies. There's options like the S&P 500, where you can just put your money in and know that it will grow with the overall growth of the stock market.
Yeah.
but there wasn't really anything like that for crypto. You have your blue chips, you've got all your protocols and DeFi, and, you're trying to make the decision, okay, which one is a good one to buy? Which one do I hold on to long term? And that can be a little tough, right?
Yeah.
Especially for people who are new to crypto. So I wanted to bring the ease of an index fund similar to the S&P 500 to crypto. And I stumbled across a platform called Cassandra DAO, which builds on top of Balancer's managed pools feature, which allows you to put a basket of assets into, and represent it with one token. And I saw that and I'm like, sweet, that will let me do what I've been trying to do. And Keir Krew Fund was born couple days later after I spent some time researching their platform, checking out their audits, reading through their documentation, and I liked what I saw. So, and just so you know, you did mute yourself.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I was saying nice and then was going to adjust that with an unmuted nice. So I guess, and I didn't get them beforehand. I apologize. If you want to maybe send me a link either through DMs on Discord or through the private chat on here, because you can't put links in the live thing, and I'll put them in there for you. Because obviously for people that are interested, I'd like them to be able to have a peek at that. So really cool. So I've been in the banking industry for 20 years. So as much as I'm not necessarily a fan of mutual funds per se, this is kind of like that. My fan is of the ETFs where they are less fees. And so I guess, is there fees involved with this? Like, I know ETFs still have fees, and that's okay. There should be a reason. There's a reason why someone like you should earn some money for managing this. But what do those look like?
Yeah, so I wanted to keep them essentially as low as possible. Is I started researching. I was like, all right, what would it cost somebody to go and swap these assets themselves? And when you factor, okay, there's 10 assets in there, right? You have to have your minimum slippage of 0.5%, so that is the equivalent of 5%. So looking at it, there's a deposit fee of 2%. The purpose of that is so that I could enable a referral system for it, right? So there's a 1% referral. I haven't been posting the link. I haven't been sharing the link, because again, I started it just as a tool for people in my trading server to passively plop some money in there and know that, okay, I'm going to essentially force them to take profits at the top of the bull market. So I wanted the referral system in place. That way people who do like it, think it's a great tool, are going to be able to go ahead and grab themselves a referral link to share with their communities. There's a couple of protocols that have been giving it as a value offer to their community, and then they've been earning for their treasury off of the deposits. And then there is a 1% annual management fee. I get half of that. The other half goes to the Cassandra DAO platform. Okay. And that's taken out in tiny little increments over the course of the entire year. So that 1% is broken up into 365 pieces, and then it incrementally just takes that each day. That way, if you're only in the fund for like 6 months, you're only paying 0.5%, right? Yeah.
And so I was just going to ask, so that's of the whole TVL basically. So whatever the TVL is that on that day, that 0.5% or that 1% divided by 365 is your piece kind of thing. Okay, awesome. No, that's great. So I'll post your link there. What I may do as well when I do stuff with referrals or affiliates, there is a protocol that I kind of manage that we're trying to save. I've my Monstros referrals go in there. So I may set up a link. Actually, I'll take a look first. And so none of this is financial advice, guys. Please do your own research. But if you do like what this is offering, here's one to take a peek with. And then what I may do is set up my own under that protocol so that any of the referral fees do happen. They'll flow through that from anything that people want to link on from me. I'll put that in the video after this, probably in an hour or two, once this shuts down. So that's awesome. I really like that. Go ahead. Sorry, sir.
And I was just going to say, and if you guys are listening and through the course of this, you like what you hear and you check it out, and I would recommend just wait until he has the referral link and has it posted for the video, because otherwise, that 1%, it just goes to me, right? So you might
awesome. No, that's great. Okay, and I like that. So fees are very minimal. Like I said, unlike mutual funds, which are like, to me, the evil version of all of these kind of things. Because honestly, I don't even think, when I work for the bank, I don't feel that they did enough work to get the billions of dollars they were getting from that. And actually looking at something very recent, the Bitcoin ETF that's just happened. The only reason why the banks want that is so that they can capture back some of those lost fees they're not getting from people holding BTC themselves. And anybody in this space, I don't recommend you even think about the ETF, because you can just buy Bitcoin yourself. Or something like this, which you'll get far better, in my opinion, not financial advice, you'd probably get far better rewards and returns from something like this that's more actively managed than something like a Bitcoin ETF. After fees and everything else, you're probably not looking at performing much better than your regular S&P 500, most likely.
That's why I kept it at a 2% deposit fee, right? Because you're going to pay 5% just trying to buy the assets yourself due to that 0.5% slippage, and there being 10 assets, right?
Yeah,
so I wanted to keep it cheaper than that. There is no withdrawal fee, and you can choose if you want to. Let's say you decide, oh, I don't like the way Cyril's managing it, but I still want to retain the basket of assets. When you go to withdraw, which you can do at any point in time, you get a choice. You can choose to withdraw as a single asset like USDC or Matic or ETH, or you can say, I want the basket, right? Because you put the money in one transaction, it splits it into the 10 different assets, and then that's your holding. You can withdraw all those 10 different assets, and then it deposits them into your wallet. And I've tested it out personally with small amounts. I've tested it out with larger amounts, and it gives me exactly what I'm supposed to receive.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, that's awesome. Sorry, so I'm going to just ask questions. So I'll just read that out. What are the main variables you use to choose the assets to make up KKF? And why did you choose those assets? Thanks, Hamilton, for the question.
Yeah, that's a good question. So Hamilton, he's a cool guy. Say hi to him. He works over at the Cassandra platform, actually.
Oh, there you go.
And I just want to give a shout out to their team. They are super responsive. Every time I've come across like a bug in the UI or a little issue that needs fixing, they've had it fixed within 24 hours, sometimes within an hour or two. So they're real responsive to the community requests, and they listen. So I chose those assets because I wanted this to be a lower risk fund, one that people could feel more confident just depositing into, and then knowing that, okay, this is going to grow with the whole of the crypto market. And so we relied primarily on blue chips. The allocation weights of all of the assets for Bitcoin, 19.5%. So 19.5% of the fund is comprised of Bitcoin. 18.5% is Ethereum. You've got 17.25% of WMatic. Now, I have gold in there at 18.5% to act as an anchor to help reduce price volatility, right? Because as we know, the crypto markets are very volatile as a whole. You know, we'll have a 10% swing one day, a 20% swing the other day, but gold just typically doesn't swing quite the same way. Yeah. So while it will slow us down a little bit when the crypto markets are running crazy, it will also hold us up a little bit if we have a down day like today, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, because Bitcoin's doing a little bit of and in turn the whole market is, which is fine. Good time to get in.
Yeah, exactly.
And something really good to DCA into, I guess, with this. If you do have kind of a cash flow positive situation, you can maybe put $100 a week or $50 a day or whatever and benefit.
Yep, I've actually been telling people, like I had a guy DM me. He's like, hey, I got 5,000. I want to put it in. And I told him, look, DCA it, right? Split it up, put it in increments over the course of a couple of days. And then talking about the assets, there's a splash of other assets in there that are considered more speculative.
Gotcha.
But since this is a lower risk fund, the speculative, if you can call them that, asset allocations are capped at 5%, no more than that, because they are slightly higher risk. But
just make sure not to interrupt, but you're talking 5% in total. So if there's 3 different assets, their total value will be no more than 5% of the asset.
Not no, 5%. If there's 3 different assets, then the total, and they're all at 5%, then it would be 15%.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure. So it could be a larger portion of the overall pool, but still a small portion.
Yeah. So I kept it right around like 26%, I believe. It should be pretty close to that. So right around a quarter of the fund into these more quote unquote speculative assets. And the purpose of that is these are infrastructure protocols like QuickSwap,
I was just going
Uniswap.
to say they're not really that speculative.
Right. But because this is a lower risk fund, something that's not like a crypto blue chip like Bitcoin or Ethereum would be considered more in the speculative vein,
Gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
Now, with this, though, since they are infrastructure-based protocols, they stand to potentially grow percentage-wise more than like the Bitcoin or Ethereum themselves would, and that's why they're in there.
Yeah. And sorry, just with this one, I did want to ask, and somebody just sort of, okay, so this is on Polygon specifically?
Correct.
Which is why when you get your stuff back, so this was a question I thought of and I was waiting, but you're getting basically wrapped versions of the stuff in order to be able to happen on the Polygon network. So you're not worrying about getting assets on different chains. It's very simple and plain Jane, which is awesome. And Polygon's great for that because they have pretty much most of them with good liquidities as wrapped versions. So.
Oh yeah, dude. When I did my withdrawal, it cost me 6 cents in gas.
Yeah.
And I got all 10 of the assets sent to me, prior to clicking, the confirm button. It's like, oh, you're going to get $4.20 of ETH. You're going to get, blah, 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 blah. Right. And that's exactly what I got. So that was cool.
Perfect. And Tiago asks, are you planning on doing something similar on Arbitrum or Avalanche? I don't really know if I see the need because Polygon's so easy to bridge to, like using Synapse, you can send a stable coin over, but and I think it would be harder, I guess, on some of these for certain assets being wrapped. And I guess it also depends more not on you, but on this protocol.
Yeah, so the Cassandra DAO platform does have Arbitrum and Avalanche supported. A lot, because this is a lower risk fund, most of the assets that was going to be contained within this fund were available on Polygon. So it just made sense to do it on Polygon because it is one that you can withdraw to natively through Coinbase, which is what a lot of newer people to DeFi are going to be using. So I selected Polygon for its ease of onboarding for newer to crypto people, because again, that's the purpose of this fund, right? A place where they don't have to spend the time doing all of the research into each individual protocol to decide what to buy. Yeah. It's going to be for newer people.
Perfect. Yeah, and that makes sense. And even then, like someone like myself, honestly, there's so many things that I get into and I'm so spread out so thin. The idea of somebody building a bull bag portfolio for me kind of excites me because I don't want to mess around with that. I worked in the bank. I sold mutual funds. I did all that stuff. I don't want to manage that stuff. I was never good at managing my own. I was better at managing other people's. So even for somebody that's been in here for a while, I see some value to this just to kind of take the guesswork out. And I'm assuming, are you within reason? I'm sure not daily, but are you within reason actively managing this and changing its allocation based on market moves?
So for the lower risk fund, what I have quarterly reports, right? I can actually, if you want, give you a sneak peek of what that's going to look like. Cool. And the purpose of them is so that I can track a lot of this stuff over a longer period of time, right? Because with the crypto space, you're going to get swings every single day. Yeah. Right. You're going to get swings where, this asset's down 20%, but then tomorrow it's up 35%. Just to give you an idea of what the quarterly report looks like for the low fund. That's just test numbers in there for now, but gotcha. You guys will see those when I post them. So for the low fund, I don't intend on like actively managing it day in, day out. Right. Yeah. Not even week to week. The purpose of this is to let it grow with the crypto market as a whole. Now, I am looking at those assets, tracking them over each quarter. And if there's an asset that I feel is underperforming, I will cut it loose.
Nice.
Cut that asset loose and then either spread that percentage into the remainder of the assets or find one to replace it with. But this one, any changes would be taking place essentially every quarter. We'll see the report and be like, all right, GNS, everything else went up an average of, 12% during this quarter, but GNS went down 2%. All right, let's let it go. Right.
Gotcha. And then with that, I do see actually there's even a rebalancing fund tool that's turned off. It looks like for yours. I'm assuming that's something you can control whether people want to maintain a specific spread here based on assets going up in value or down. They can then rebalance it and buy some of the lower ones. Is that correct?
Yeah. So as a fund manager, you're able to choose rebalancing of the assets where you want to increase the percentage that the fund is comprised of like Bitcoin. Let's say we want to raise it up to 20%, an extra 0.5%.
Yeah.
We would be able to do that from the manager platform, change it, and then we could subtract the percentage from somewhere else. And then it would show you in that box if there's a rebalance taking place. Because when I institute a rebalance, it doesn't just take place immediately. It takes place over the course of either an hour, 24 hours, or 3 days. Cool. This way, it can swap the most favorable rates. It's not trying to do it all at once. It gets to DCA its way into the new position or DCA its way out of the old position.
Awesome. Okay, that's really cool. And Hamilton asks another question. Are you planning on doing some more? So some GameFi themes or decentralized finance or DeFi? I don't know what DeFi is, honestly, but.
Yeah, so I am looking at creating a more medium risk fund to go along with this one after this one hits a certain TVL. The medium risk fund, it's going to contain some more of those some more speculative style assets such as GameFi and AI, as long as the assets are whitelisted on the Cassandra platform. But if there's an asset and it's in like the top 200 or something like that, and I want it in there and it's tradable on Balancer, I'm sure that if I go to the Cassandra platform and be like, look, guys, this one meets the criteria, it's tradable, I want to put it in my fund, they'd probably work with me a little bit and see about getting that asset whitelisted on there.
Gotcha. So that's good to know. So you are somewhat limited in what you can choose based on what they've done. So there's not going to be one of these silly, like crazy degen ones, marketer guys trying to come in going, buy this one. It's got every meme coin in the world and we'll make you millions of dollars.
Yeah, no, there's some very strict criteria for an asset to be available on the platform, because not only does it have to be tradable on Balancer, it has to have certain liquidity depth. Otherwise, how is the fund supposed to be able to perform the proper rebalances? It has to meet like holder requirements, like a certain amount of them. Like there's a lot of criteria that goes into selecting assets to be whitelisted on the Cassandra DAO platform. And I've looked through their list, and it looks like the team does a really good job of making sure they keep the riffraff out.
Perfect.
So.
Awesome. No, that's great. This is really cool. I must admit, I didn't really know what to expect. I just knew you were doing it and went, well, I'll have them on the channel. So I'm actually happy that we did this. I think there's a lot of value to what you're putting together here. And yeah, if you're able to spread it out and do a couple of different things as well. So I can definitely say after this, I'm going to get a little bit in on the project side so that it can have its own referral code. And I may start a little personal one as well and kind of go in as I have some extra funds. Cause like I said, I really procrastinated the bull run portfolios, quote unquote. And it's been one of those things that I procrastinated too long with, really. And I just, as much as I can throw 250 in this one, 250 in that one, the idea of having it kind of balanced for me and managed for me, I like, because it's just, I'm not thinking about it and going, oh crud, maybe I need to remove this one around because things are happening. Like I'm not watching the news enough to go, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example, but like FTX or not FTX, Jesus. One of the ones anyways. I'm not looking at it enough to go, okay, maybe I need to kind of bring this down, bring this up. Even quarterly is amazing to have that done for you kind of thing. So, but yeah. Anything else? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that and be like, yeah, and a lot of people, let's be honest, life is busy. We don't have the time to sit there and be like, okay, what's going on with this? Is the market near its top, or did this thing that just went on a run, is it crashing today or something like that, right? Like we don't have the time in our day-to-day lives to manage that.
Yeah.
And with the spread that we have, like right now, a lot of stuff that I'm looking at on my watch list is down an average of between 5 to 7.5% today. And like even Bitcoin is down 2.03% in the last 24 hours. ETH is down 2.54%. But because of the asset distribution that the fund has, we're down 2.89% for the day. So, I mean, you can see it right there. Some of them down 6%, 7%, 5%, almost.
You're not taking that hit because you're balanced out properly. Yeah.
Right. And gold is only down 0.05% today. So, it's doing its job, acting as that anchor. It's not like a lot of people out there, they want to try to promise, what we're doing, everything, just goes up, everything only goes up, blah, 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 blah. That's not reality. That's not to be expected with any kind of index, ETF, nothing. I mean, we saw what happened when the ETFs got approved on the market earlier or last week, right?
Yeah, exactly. It didn't know what it wanted to do, and we knew it might have been a sell the news kind of thing, and it happened.
Yeah, absolutely. But with the purpose of an index fund like this, there's going to be days where it's up, there's going to be days where it's down, but overall, over the course of the year, it goes up. Just like the S&P 500 has its bad days, has its good days, but year over year averages between 12 to 13%, right?
Exactly.
And that's the kind of stability and painless aspect of just being able to come in, get some diversification exposure to the markets as a whole, and mostly blue chips and infrastructure, and forget about it. And know that when the markets get too heated, I'm going to be over a period of time, shifting the asset percentages back towards stable coins, kind of forcing people to take their profits this time instead of riding it back down into the next bear market.
What? You just don't want to just ride the wave? Yeah, no, it's true. And again, that's the other reason why I like this kind of thing, because you're going to probably react faster than I might if we do start making that curve. Like last bull run when it ended, I think many of us, and including protocols, they didn't move into stablecoins fast enough. They waited till it was like down 50, 75, 80%. We saw all the node projects holding on for dear life and watching their everything tank when they could have gone off of BNB pairings and Amatic pairings weeks ago and saved themselves hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases. So yeah, no, it's for sure. And Deborah, I appreciate you saying thanks for seeing this concept, and that's awesome. We did talk about that a little bit earlier, and he is planning on doing potentially another medium risk one, so a little riskier than this one down the road as this TBL grows. So once we bring more attention to that, which I'm happy to continue to do because I do like the premise around this for sure, and hopefully we can kind of get. Is there a goal in mind that you have before you do the medium one?
Yes, but I'm keeping that personal for now. So, and for anybody tuning in, like I, just as a little kind of like a recap, I had started KKF because in my trading Discord, which has been around for about 3 years now. I believe it'll be 3 years in June.
Nice,
but we've always joked about making like something called like Kucoin, which essentially is just it goes up and down based off of my trades, because I teach people how to trade and read charts and become profitable with their trade management styles. And so we've joked about something like this for about almost 3 years now. And then I came across Cassandra DAO and was like, holy crap, I can use this platform to build the index fund that we've been talking about. So I did that. I plopped about $3,000 of my own money in there, and I was like, all right, just now I'll just manage it this way instead of actively trading it or swapping it. And then they were like, hey, we should tell people about this. And I'm like, go for it if you want to, but I'm going to run it the same, whether there's, my 3K in here that's just chilling, or if there's $1 million in TVL, it's going to be managed the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, Scott, welcome. Thank you. Yeah, do watch the replay. I think we're going to keep this pretty short. I think we'll probably cut this out pretty soon because I don't know if there's a whole lot more to get into, and I'd like to make things as bite-sized as I can.
Yeah,
But I
absolutely.
think I will do some follow-up content on this, as I said, as I do some with some deposits, and maybe start taking some of my stuff and getting it over here because like I said, I really like the idea. So, and TBL, and you can come and see TBL. You can see everything here, and even like it does a great breakdown. I may even have to talk to what is it, Hamilton? You said I think that works for them.
Yeah,
I might
Hamilton.
have to see about getting them on the channel. That was the question I wanted to ask. Thank you. That just reminded myself. So, how long have they been around? Do you have some history on them? Just maybe a brief one for now, just so people can know whether this platform is something they can be confident in or comfortable in.
Yeah, so they're I don't remember exactly when they started, but it was last year.
Okay.
And all of their contracts have been audited. I like the way that when a fund manager sets up a pool, the only thing that they have access to is the strategy contract. They don't have access to the actual funds in there or anything. And they were built on top of Balancer's platform. Yeah, you see the strategy contract down there at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's the only one that I have access to. There you go.
Gotcha.
That's my manager wallet. And they were built on top of Balancer, which all of their stuff has been audited from several sources.
Nice.
And with how responsive their team is and how quickly they fix things, I have a feeling that they are a very educated team and they know their stuff. I mean, how many times have we been in a project and we pointed out a bug on their UI and like 2 months later, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to fix it soon.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's too late. Everything's already dropped.
Right. You know, and with these guys, like I said, at one point, one of the things that I had requested a fix on, they were messaging me like 30 minutes later saying, oh yeah, we're pushing a fix for it. I'm like, holy cow. All right, cool.
Nice. That definitely
I'll make a group chat for you with them.
No, that'd be great. Okay, and then you get almost your own little facts about your pool. Cool, that's neat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I think I'm not in the States, so I don't have access to it, but I think it's M1 Finance or something that is an app for the stock exchanges for IRL type investment stuff. And this kind of has that same feel, and I've always thought it was a cool idea of this having pools and having like control over an ETF by somebody I know and trust. So very, very, very cool. I appreciate all this. Anything else you wanted to add? Anything that we might have forgotten or that we didn't get into? I think that you want to add at the end here.
Not too much. I mean, like I said, if anyone listening or anyone watching later decides that they do want to, put some money in the fund, go for it. Just wait until, Justin has his referral link ready to go. Because I just keep telling people, I'm like, look, if you tell someone about it, please make sure you use your referral link. Otherwise, that 1% just goes to me. I would much rather go to you guys. I'm just managing this for my friends.
Yeah.
But everybody likes it, wants to know about it. So I'm here sharing it. Thanks for inviting me to come talk about it.
Yeah, no problem. No, I appreciate you. And like I said, as soon as I learned that you were doing this, you got a text within seconds after that. So, or a Discord DM. So yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. And there you go. Sorry, Hamilton just said all the smart contracts are public and audited. So yeah, please hook me up because I wouldn't mind if they're interested in doing something like this. I wouldn't mind having them on because it seems like it's something quite neat. And I will get something in momentarily in the next little bit, even if it's just a small thing to get it started, and get a code in the description of this video. So if anybody's watching it live, it should be below very soon, because I would like to put some of our stuff in the protocol that I'm managing to do that. So.
Yeah.
Yes, anybody can create a referral. So just, I'll pull up the screen share that I had because I did already see it, I think, there.
Yeah.
Sharing her, and there it is. So you'll just click on that. So once your wallet's connected, it'll probably create a link that'll include your wallet at the end of it.
Yes.
With basically, well, actually, it'll look like the link that I put in here earlier in the live chat. And then you can get your 1% commission. So
yeah, the link won't have your wallet specifically. What it has like a user ID
cool.
that their platform creates when you connect your wallet. And that way, as the fund manager is able to see on the dashboard, like, okay, which person on the platform is my most active broker. Like we can see all of that. And yeah, anyone can create it. Anyone, if you know somebody who is really good at, you know, either trading or managing their own portfolio, like tell them about the platform, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even run the platform, right? I have nothing to do with the Cassandra DAO platform myself. You know, I just manage KKF, the fund, on their platform. But if you know somebody, tell them about the platform. Maybe they'd be interested in making a fund, managing a fund, etc. So yeah, the more the merrier.
Thanks, Denver. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, guys. We kept that nice and short. And again, thank you for joining me. Anytime you want to come back for anything, or if you do the medium risk one, please let me know and we'll have you on again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think it's great to have these kind of less degen-y, more like actual like investing type stuff in this space, because we got enough of the other SHIT stuff.
We need maturity in the space. And that's what I think the Cassandra DAO platform and, you know, funds like this can help bring about.
Yeah, 100%. Awesome. All right. Well, we'll leave it at that, guys. Have yourselves a great afternoon. On your way out, like I said, if you don't mind, please do hit that like for sure, especially if you want to hit the subscribe. Obviously, I'm not going to say no to that, but with the like button, let's get this video some attention so that we can get some more funds in this portfolio. So have a good one.